Going out there, I am Solar Gray, the cinematic sorcerer, and what is all this? Yeah, the cinematic sorcerer, and welcome to the dark side of the room. Now, this is the show where I say hello to everyone. So, what is going on, folks? What's the word? There we are. How you guys doing out there? Like I said, I'm Solar Gray, the cinematic sorcerer, and welcome to the dark side of the room. So today we have got a big show, or should I say a continuation of yesterday's conversation. And of course, one of these days I will learn how to spell. There we go. Yeah, main character syndrome. All right. So we are going to be talking about a lot of things today, like so many different things on that one. But I want to give some folks a little bit time to come in. So I am going to head back to the title card, but you guys, I want you to do me a favor. All right. While I go back to this title card, I want you to think about what main character syndrome is to you and leave me a comment. All right, we will be right back. All right, everybody, how's it going out there? What's the word? What is the word? How you feeling out there? I kind of did that so that I could redo a little bit of editing in the YouTube stream as well. So how you guys feeling out there? I am Solar Gray, the cinematic sorcerer, and welcome to the dark side of the room. All right, so this is the show where we talk about gaming culture and games, why they're fun, what games we like playing, why we like playing them, all of that jazz. And of course, we do all this over a nice cup of coffee. I love having a nice cup of coffee. I don't know about you guys, but we got so much stuff to talk about. So let me get some announcements going on out there. If you guys want to get a hold of us, that's very simple. Send an email and all that jazz. Oh my god, what is happening here? Doesn't look like we got something going here. Oh my god, where'd I go? All right, cool. Oh, no wonder I pushed the wrong button. All right, yeah, there we go. I'm like, where'd I go over there? All right, so there we go. No, you're not the only one with the black screen, Xanathades. Yeah, so also, like I said, if you guys want to get a hold of me and all that stuff, please send an email to backinthedeck@gmail.com. It's BACKINTHEDECK@gmail.com. You can also hit me up on Twitter and on Instagram. You could also hit us up over on the tick-a-tick-tock-a-tick-tick-tock-a-top-top-top-ticks. And of course, you can hit us up on Facebook if you still have one. And like I said, if you guys are on Facebook, join Deckers on the Book, man. It's the best way for me to give you guys stuff. Like, seriously. Hey, no, you don't have to reload, Clever Little Vixen. Honestly, it really was. That was on my end. You should not have a black screen. I'm looking at you guys right now. So, yeah, it should all be good. And, of course, a couple of quick announcements. If y'all want some merchandise like t-shirts and stuff like that, I would appreciate it. You know, I would appreciate it a whole lot if you guys were to head over to notbackinthedeck@gmail.com, of course, but stop telling me about the coupons, okay? I do appreciate the coupons, but head on over to tpublic.com. Let me just put a thing up in the comments here to grab some Bid P merch. All right, this is like some really cool stuff. We got notebooks and t-shirts and all that stuff. Oh my. All right, and of course we have let me put that right there in the chat, of course. Let's see here. Now I actually have a bunch of missions for y'all today, which is really fun. One of the missions I have is, you know, continue to spread the word, guys. Let people know, like, when I go live, send a message to people being like, hey, he's live right now, check this guy out at twitch.tv/bid_p. all right, that is, like, you know, it's a really simple thing for you guys to do. And it helps gets my numbers up. All right. Twitch contacted me this morning and they're like, you know, I know that we don't run ads and stuff, but you're gonna need to start unless you can get more people in there and doing your thing. And of course, if you do 3 minutes an hour, then we can break you off a little bit more. And I'm like, you know, that would be an interesting thing. I guess that's them saying I need to have longer streams. So that is kind of a thing. I don't know. But yeah, sharing this stuff, getting the stuff out there, letting people on YouTube and stuff know that we're there, that would really help us out and help us keep the lights on. But that's mission number 1. Mission number 2. Oh my god, let me see here. Pop and pop. Wait, I just go there. Nope, so many different things. All right, there we go. I want to tell you guys about, of course, our event that's coming up next Saturday. That is a week from Saturday. We're talking the 27th of August. Our event, Decker Day. What? Yeah, Decker Day. If you're in the Southern California area, all you got to do is just come on down to, or buy a ticket and come on down to Bono's Pizza. Let's see here. Yeah, come on down. Oh, wait a second. 91 minus 4. I gotta adjust that. 4. Okay, cool. So let me just make a couple of really quick adjustments here. Didn't realize that was the thing. So that's, yeah, we got 87 tickets left, guys. 87 tickets. Now, I originally wanted people, there we go. I also wanted people to make their orders by the 15th, but for some reason folks haven't, and that's fine. But yeah, we got 87 tickets left. Really trying to get past, boom, yeah, really trying to get past, what is it? I need to get rid of 30 tickets, okay? 30 more tickets, as soon as possible, just to make sure that the venue is paid for, okay? So we got 87 tickets left. I gotta put that down to 57 as soon as possible, just to make sure that the event can go off without a hitch and everybody gets fed. So that's what I'm talking about. And what? Fed? Yes, because this event is coming along. All right, it's coming along, and part of the $50 ticket price will be free parking, a swag bag, a paint and take, a terrain workshop, and what? An unlimited Italian buffet. What? I'm serious. That's the thing. I got that whole thing going because I figured, you know what? I put a $50 price tag and people go, and it's like, dude, you're eating, and we're taking care of coffee, or not coffee, but parking is included in the ticket price. Come on, guys, seriously. Ooh, drop my spoon. Okay, yeah. So with all of that stuff going down, it is a really good value. I did everything I could to make it a good value, and I'm not adding any more to the event because on top of all that, we've got 8 tables of demo games that will be going all day. Okay, I'm going to be very tired at the end of this. But yeah, I'm going to be giving demonstrations all day. It's like a meet and greet. There's going to be talking. I'm going to do a Q&A for gamers. So if you guys want advice on how to be better at the table or game mechanics questions and things like that, I won't just be answering questions, but I'll teach people how to find the answers. And of course, we're doing a panel as well. So I mean, we got so much good stuff coming down on that particular day. There's just so much going on. So yeah, come on down. Again, on the flyer here, I've even put a little UPC symbol so that you can pay from wherever you are on whatever device. So order your ticket or sponsor somebody else's ticket just to make sure that folks can get, so that we grow the community and make sure that everybody gets a chance at doing this stuff. All right, so that's a really good thing. Let's see. So I talked about the emails. I talked about the t-shirts, and I talked about. Okay, I might be doing one more thing. Yes, one more thing. I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing that one more thing, but oh wow, what is this? Beanies Pop. Oh, sweet. Yeah, one of our deckers actually has an Etsy store. So that is very cool, and they put it over here in the creations on the Discord. So that is great. And of course, so yeah, so now we can get to the show. Wow, so much things to talk about. All right. So, there they watch me navigate. So today, I wanted to talk to you guys at length about a serious condition. Okay, it's a serious condition called main character syndrome. Right? And what is that? Well, this is something that happens more within new players than it does almost anywhere else. All right. Oh wait, I didn't give it up to my patrons. Oh my god, I am so sorry, guys. I'm like, wait, I got all that. Yeah. So major shouts out to Laura Holton, Shaylee Watson, Jennifer Kroll, Noel Olheiler, Glenn Couch, Christopher Chalmers, and Joseph Hines, my patrons that help us keep the lights on. So yeah. So now that we got all that stuff going, let me give one more shout out to my people in the chat. Who is here in the chat today? We got Clever Little Vixen, Holding It Down Like Gravity, Black and White Now in Color, Freed One, Glenn Couch, Nintendo Switch XL, Vancouver by Night, Xanathades. Hey guys, how are all you guys doing? Vancouver by Night, I'm glad that there's somebody here representing the World of Darkness. That is pretty awesome. And so yeah, so this is the thing. All right, now main character syndrome is essentially the condition, I guess you can say. It's an idea that leads to behavior that makes people forget that there are other folks at the table. All right, and I want to talk about where a bit of it comes from, because it's a real thing, and sometimes it can be a bit of a bummer, but it doesn't have to be the standard. Okay. A lot of the times when we get new players in from two major places. Okay, two major places. Place number one, people that are like, well, they see something like Critical Role or something, and then they go, ooh, I want to try that. And so they get in and they start to try it, and they come in wanting to have a certain bit of fun. All right. Second place is video games. Okay. Now, both of these places come from a perspective of individuality within groups. Okay. Yeah, the perspective of not realizing that the game involves more than one player. Thank you, Glenn. How do we handle this? How do we do this type of thing, right? I know most people when they play video games say any RPG video game like the Final Fantasy series or the first person stuff like Elder Scrolls and Dragonborn and whatever the new one is out there, along with the things like Bloodborne and Dark Souls and whatever the new stuff is. I can't keep up with this kind of stuff. I'm working all the time. Most of those things are solitary experiences that have the illusions of company. All right. Now, hold up. I know y'all are about to be like, what about massive multiplayer online games? That's the illusion of company. And I'll tell you why. When you're in an MMORPG, you're not in the presence of another person. Okay. Which means when you are interacting with people in a direct manner, especially when you can see their faces, there are different protocols. It does different things to the brain. All right. It's kind of like the difference between texting and talking on the phone. All right. There's more information to read, more stuff to decode, and more context to be given. Now, this is not a bad thing. I know a lot of people's anxiety is about to go through the roof, but just follow me on this one. When you're in a massive multiplayer online game, it's really easy to concentrate on yourself. What are your stats? What are your what weapons are you carrying? What thing are you fighting? Even in games like when you're in a raid in Warcraft, you're just so focused on yourself. And like I said, you may think you're focusing on, okay, where's the healer and all that stuff, but again, asking those questions, where is that other character? I don't know where that other character is. I'm not sure what they look like. All of that stuff. It's a thing. Yep. Hang on. Let's see. We got Freed One saying, I think the joke I came in with everyone thinks they're the hero of their story holds some water, disregarding video games. And to a certain extent, players even should think that. Yeah, it's true. And yeah, I'm not going to discount that everyone is the hero of their own story. Okay, I'm not going to do that. But what I am going to say is, when we sit down at a lot of different games, when we're interacting with other people, it's easy to forget that they're other people. They're not simulations. They're not words on a smartphone. They're another person that has thoughts and histories and plans and, all of that stuff. But when main character syndrome becomes a major thing is when the player themselves try and position themselves as both main character and narrator. Okay? Just think about that. They're and when I say narrator, I don't mean they're narrating their own moves. I'm not even saying they narrate other people's moves. But they have this idea that they are the leader at the table. Now, when there's one person that believes that, it can be difficult to manage. But when there are 4 in your 5-player game, oh boy, the chaos that ensues. Oh, look at all that chaos. It is so exhausting. So yeah. Now, there is another place that I see this manifest a lot. And understand, I'm not attacking you, all right? Because this is just a habit that has brought itself up in American culture, at least. And I'll start off with a story. I have a friend. They're a really good friend. And when we talk about gaming experiences or try to make plans and things like that, a lot of the times I find myself having to navigate around a certain thing where, because of this person's trauma, the AGB that we talked about yesterday, or sorry, AGS that we talked about yesterday, abused gamer syndrome, a lot of these people have a tendency, yes, it is sweet coffee. A lot of people have a tendency of believing that making room for someone else's perspective invalidates their own. Okay. Now, I have a friend who loves Warhammer 40K, and I let him know I'm not going to play Warhammer 40K. I can't afford the books. Okay, I have a 3D printer. I have a whole bunch of 3D printers. Okay, a whole bunch for a regular person. My farm is very small. It's more like a garden. Yes, I've got a 3D printing garden. But nevertheless, so I can make a bunch of figures. Okay, I do make a bunch of figures, especially since I'm part of One Page Rules' Patreon. However, I can't afford all the books for Warhammer 40K. And in order to play at the competitive tournament level that he plays at, although he doesn't believe he's a tournament player, I would have to spend as much on books, i.e. the core book, the codexes, specifically the codexes for the Space Marines, the Grey Knights, and any army that I want to play, and I have a tendency of wanting multiple armies, okay? So I would have to spend as much on books for Warhammer 40K as I would spend on a new 3D printer and upgrading at least 2 of my other ones. Okay? So I'm not going to be playing Warhammer 40K. I'm sorry. It's not something that's within my budgetary philosophy. Okay? It's not really a thing. Like I said, if I can buy a brand new 3D printer and upgrade 2 of my older ones for the same price that it would cost to learn how to play that game, it's really not within my purview. Okay? So, as I said, another thing that we go through when I talk to him is I am not a big fan of apocalypse level games. Okay? That's a thing. And this goes into main character syndrome because you guys go through this all the time. Someone expresses their opinion and you express your opinion, and then one of the 2 of you tends to have to what's the term, proselytize their opinion. Okay, I do it too, as he says on his Twitch channel. So yeah, it's oh yeah, everyone has a couple of hundreds of dollars laying around in loose change. Totally, Friedwin, totally. That's how America works. We just have like $100 bills and 70-pound notes just in our bathroom next to the toilet paper. Okay, that's a thing, you know. And when these things pop up, a lot of the things get lost. Now, my friend wants to play an apocalypse level game. For those of you guys that don't know, it is a Warhammer 40K game that starts at 15,000 points, i.e., it is a game that is designed to be played with a minimum, the smallest apocalypse level game I've seen are 5 figures. Okay, five figures. But those were Imperial Knights that go for $300 or $400 each. So this, a 15,000 point game, is a game that costs relatively $1,500 to put on the table. And takes 8 hours to play. 8 hours. Now, if I'm not using giant stompy robots that are like a foot tall and I'm using standard infantry and stuff like that, that's a lot of figures, okay? And we play one-page rules together, and it's all cool. But he wants to play an apocalypse level game so that he could play the Grey Knight captain that he doesn't get to play in Warhammer 40k because it's from his homebrew codex. And if you guys play 40k, you know you can't play at a store with stuff you make up. Okay, yeah, exactly. It is convention level gaming for most people, but for a lot of 40k players, that's their Saturday. And the idea from that is that that game or that ecosystem is their one and only hobby. Not movies, not comics, not family, not friends, not driving, just 40k. Work, 40k. That is the life. And I know a few people like that. No. It's not. Actually, it's not 1500 because let's see here. No lie. To answer your question, it's like I haven't played 40k in a decade, but I'm pretty sure 1500 points is not $1,500. No, I said 15,000 points. 1,000. So I don't know. I mean, I know there's a couple of 40k players in the audience, so maybe you guys can talk to me about that. But like I said, I play one-page rules, and I know that 15,000 points is a lot of figures. Okay, a lot of figures. Okay, it was funny when he pitched me the idea. The first question he asked was, do you have enough miniatures to play? And I get it. He played 40k for a very long time. Okay, a very long time. And that means he collected and painted for a very long time. This guy has shelves of figures. And the thing is, truth be told, I was trying to be conservative, Xanathades, because I don't really like talking out of my butt that much. But yeah, I know that's a lot of years, a lot of money spent, a lot of investment, a lot of paint, a lot of hours. You know, in a lot of cases, some relationships that have fallen to the ground. Why are you spending so much time painting those miniatures? I want to do something. You know what I mean? And having all of that on the shelf and not playing with it, I know that's like a soldering iron in my eye. So I get why he wants to do that. Okay, I totally get it. And I'm gonna play this huge all-day game with him after Decker Day. And real talk, I'm gonna be borrowing a lot of figures from him because I don't think I have 15,000 points in one-page rules of one particular army, unless I recalculate my Custodian brothers, Adeptus Custodes models. I gotta see that because they're expensive. So you know, I'm gonna have to see. I know I can print out some really big models. I can be like, yeah, this guy has 750 points himself, and I have 10 of them. So you know, it's that kind of thing. So that's the thing. However, yes, exactly, fried one. The question is, do people really have 15,000 points in armies? That's news to me. That triples on every unit and every character model plus change. Exactly. And why? Because Games Workshop are marketing geniuses. You know, wouldn't it be awesome to play with 5 times your actual collection? Buy more. And we're not lowering the price, but buy more because this will be awesome, right? You know, so I'm not mad at them for that. Actually, I'm really not, because people go for it, and if you got the disposable income, cool. But main character syndrome is that idea that my friend wants to play a game with his main character that he thinks He thinks his main character should be a star of his army and shouldn't be able to be taken down by a simple unit of infantry. But in order to put him up that way, he had to use the army builder, and he's a very expensive figure. I think he costs like 1,000 points on his own. So with all the whistles and bells that he wants to put on it, and I'm like, okay, fine, you're just really trying to cram one game into another game. All right, might be my fault for how I pitched it. Anyway, but he wants his main character to be the star, and with main character syndrome, the figure that you're playing with, the character that you make for the game, essentially it's the idea that you are the star of the show. Now, that does not mean the attention whore, okay? This does not mean that the game is all about you, so everybody pay attention to you and listen to your jokes and all. No. Main character syndrome tends to be when a person believes their character is the main character of the plot of the story, and they get things like plot immunity, character immunity, and things like that. Wow, like Behind 78, who's about to get, here we go, boom, 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 hammer, please, don't hurt him, nope, all right, there we go, all right, so yeah, I just had to, had to use my band hammer right there, so yeah, that really is, wait, what was that? Let's see. Oh, wait, that's between you guys. So yeah, it really does come down to a lot of things where a lot of people think that their main character or their character is the main character. And this takes a lot of attention away from other people's plot lines. Now, what behavior does this manifest? Okay, it tends to be exemplified by people sitting on their phones when it's not their turn, bullying the party to do whatever idea they are, or discrediting or discounting everyone else at the table with their ideas. Okay, I knew someone back in 2001, and I'm like, you get really defensive about your ideas. And he's like, well, yeah, because I worked really hard to come up with the right solution, and what I came up with is what I believe is right because I've done all the research. And I'm like, interesting. Because what? Your implication is that the person you're talking with has done none? The idea of someone else's perspective on the main facts are off. I know I annoy the crap out of my girlfriend because when we talk about artistic things like movies and dance numbers and things like that, she speaks with the same tones. No, it's about this. The movie is about this. The movie is about this. And what she means, I think, what she means sometimes is what the thing means to her or how it affects her, things like that. But the language that we use lends to main character syndrome. We tend to leave out the last two qualifying words, to me. So what happens is people get defensive about what they mean when someone interacts with what they said. Okay. So yeah, it really is a big thing. All right. So when people at the table who have main character syndrome start to act like their character's the main character, they tend to, come on, focus. This is one of the reasons I'm not a big fan of my camera sometimes. That's better. Okay, yeah, old trick I learned from film school. Yeah, as I was saying, a lot of the times this manifests in passionately defending their ideas, their points. But as an older man, I can definitely see an undertone of I have to defend this point and this point of view because it's not about the game. I'm talking about myself. Okay. And one of the things, and this ties into some of the stuff we were talking about yesterday with the abused gamer syndrome, is in a lot of places there is shame as, what's the term I'm looking for? Shame as a default state of affairs. Okay. I have a lot of friends who believe that unless they are right about their opinion, then they shouldn't speak at all. Okay? Only talk about what you know about and make sure that anything you say cannot be questioned, countered, argued with, and there is no other perspective, because if there is another perspective, then yours is invalid and you should be ashamed of yourself for not completing your thought or for showing your vulnerabilities. And notice I say vulnerabilities, not weakness. Okay? Although in their minds or in their culture that I've noticed, it's the same. Okay? And that's the thing. This is, yeah, or used against you. That in my culture, yeah, you show a vulnerability, it will be used against you. Sometimes in a court of law, most of the time in the court of public opinions. All right? And this is where a lot of terrible habits come from. I know when I take out miniatures to play a game, the moment somebody picks up a miniature and starts checking my paint job, I almost flip the table. Because we're here to play D&D or Nominee or Shadowrun or Cyberpunk or One Page Rules or Carnivale or, Fallout. We're here to play a game. If you have a problem with my paint job, STFU and go paint your own. All right? I'm providing the experience. And a lot of people tend to do these things because they're used to being critiqued all the time. All right? And I get it. I understand it. All right? Now, when I brought up my friend with the 40K thing, I'm like, yeah, I would rather play 5 games at the skirmish level in a day than 1 game at the apocalypse level. If I'm going to be there for 9 hours, I'd like to get a game in and get it done. That way, if I want to go have a cigarette or get something to eat, or I have to sit down because I'm middle-aged and I can't stand around a table for 9 hours, I don't forget where I was. I don't forget my plan. And he's like, oh man, well, I love that stuff. I'm like, that's cool. You can love that stuff all you want. I don't. But in a lot of nerd spaces, you'll see people, a lot of the times you'll see people immediately state their opinion when you guys are talking about something. But a lot of the times it's not I see where you are coming from and I would like to share my point of view. It tends to be a hijacking of the conversation. And I will tell you why I think that is. It's not an individual thing. It's not an attack thing. Exactly. It doesn't come with malicious intent. It comes from reacting to a malicious world. Okay? I spent 20-something years in the suburbs and I'm recovering from that. And one thing I noticed was a lot of unnecessary competition. And when I say unnecessary competition, I'm not going to compete with you on which Metallica album is better than another one. Okay? And I'm not going to compete with you on a preference. All right? Because I don't prefer something that you don't prefer, that doesn't mean I don't prefer you. And living in the suburbs in America for as long as I did, there was an interesting thing that I saw in 1997. It was a made-for-TV movie for MTV called Together. It was about a boy band. And their manager was like, okay, you all have to pick a favorite color. And two of them picked the same color because it was, okay, you get blue, you get green, you get purple, you get red. And one of the guys like, well, I like green. Well, you guys both can't like green because there are going to be girls in the audience who like blue. And if none of you like blue, that means blue isn't good enough. She isn't good enough. And I'm going, I'd see where the logic tracks with a teenager and tweens, with a tweenager or a teenager. However, I always thought that adulthood meant coming to terms with a lot of that stuff that is pretty illogical. I appreciate that. You know. Yeah, I appreciate that. Black and White Now in Color says, you know, sometimes when I pick up figures, it's to admire the work. I totally get that. You know, I'm dealing with trauma too. You know, because I myself was surrounded by a bunch of people that only gave criticism and never gave compliments in order to make me better. I guess it's a sports thing. I don't know. I was never on a team, but when it comes to this, if you guys look in the description, today's thing is I versus we, shame and gaming fears. That's our description for today. And the reason for that is because a lot of the times folks get so focused on I, sometimes because they are that one guy that messes it up for everyone else. But most of the time they've dealt with that guy for so long, and it was always a sense of gatekeeping, okay? And gatekeeping is pervasive in Western culture, you know? Now the people that are the age of my kid, they're being so much better about it. You know, they make fun of gatekeepers like, oh, you like reading, name every book, you're a fake reader. You know, they're like, yeah, sure. But I know growing up it was, oh, you know martial arts, well, fight me. Or and I'm like, I didn't say I knew, I said I studied. There's a difference, you know. Knowing something is when you're done studying it, you know, when you're actually beyond a point of testing. But yeah, oh, you paint miniatures? Well, how many golden demons do you have? Well, I'm comparing, you know, oh, you want to be a poet? Well, let me compare you to Maya Angelou, you know, and I'm just like, I've never liked it, but I have seen how pervasive it was. It's partly one of the reasons I started this, you know. When I say started this, I mean I started back on the deck because I don't like gatekeepers. But so many people have been gatekept for so long that in the same way we become our parents, we take that gatekeeping into our own hobbies. This is why yesterday I was talking about mindfulness and self-reflection. You know, I'm as guilty of it as anybody. From that, what's the term I'm looking for? Scared parent point of view. Like, I want to arm you against the gatekeepers so that when they come about, you are sitting up going, yeah. But I'm like, wait a minute. Oh, cute. I like that. I see what you did there, Zenithia. Oh, you want to be a poet? Well, let me compare thee to a summer's day. Mm-hmm. You know, oh, man. So, yeah, I don't know. Should I write poetry, Pat? Should I do it now while he is asleep? No, that would be higher in salary, not revenge. Anyway, as I was saying, you know, I tend to do that stuff too because gatekeepers are out there. But we are now moving into an age where we can disempower gatekeepers and get past our main character syndrome. That idea of we have to fight for relevance. Okay? Now, we can't do that at work. all the time. You know, work is all made up of fighting for relevance. Oh, well, show me why you're qualified for this job that I need filled. Show me why you should be getting a raise. Can you tell me what, you know, can you write down what you do for this company? And I'm just like, fake less, you know? I think it's one of the reasons I like the movie Office Space so much. What do you do when you're sitting here at work? I get my work done in about 2 hours and then I veg, you know. Because yeah, it's like, who made you the gatekeeper? But all of that stuff comes down to, well, I've heard things like, I pour so much of myself into my character. And I'm like, you see how many I statements are in that? You know, I pour so much into my character that I don't want anything bad to happen to my character. And I'm like, your character is one of 8 at my table. 1 of 8. Okay? I understand not wanting something bad to happen to your character. I get it. I get it. Especially since I'd say for your first 5 years of gaming, character creation tends to take like 3 or 4 hours. It sucks to feel like that time has been wasted. However, part of the beauty of playing group games, okay, part of the joys in playing group games, and this is how we can combat it. So this is my homework for you guys, is to understand that you're part of a group that's on your team. Okay, you don't want something bad to happen to your character. Cultivate a team dynamic to make people in your party want to save you, because if every member of the party does that, you know, if we were tripping over ourselves to help each other in the same way we trip over each other to be the funny one at the table, can you imagine the fun stuff that can come out of that? You know, I mean, seriously, just imagine the amount of teamwork that's there. This is something that was really reinforced to me personally by running Warp Tumbler C24. I mean, I'm serious. The way that party looks out for each other is just, oh my God, it is so inspiring. When one of them gets into a fight, the other two might cast dancing lights and be the announcers and cheer them on. And when they have moments to get away, they don't run away unless they know the others are safe. You know, it's that kind of bond, that kind of camaraderie with the people at the table, understanding that we does consist of a bunch of I's, but if we drop the I's and start thinking of the we, then everybody gets more. Everybody gets more. Everybody gets more fun. Everybody gets more amusement. Because in playing cooperative games, hell, even in playing competitive games, you know, it's actually funny. There's a lot of people that like playing with me, not because of the easy victory, but because they know I'm on their side. I'm rooting for them to win. I want them to have fun. Okay? And make no mistake, I'm pretty good at a lot of games when I care. Okay, if I'm actually playing to win, I can go as cutthroat as the next guy. Okay, but the thing is, I'm not that guy. It's kind of like I can fight really well, but I never start a fight. And most of the time I don't even see when someone is actually trying to start a fight. I'm like, really? You're actually trying to do that? Really? You're trying to assault my ego or assault my sense of pride? Sorry, I didn't notice. But that also comes from security. Like, you know, I'm happy to play the game. I'm secure in playing a game. So yeah, let's play. Let's totally do it. And when the person is just, I've had so many people look at me while I'm playing games going, why would you do that? I'm like, I don't play to the top level of efficiency. I like come from behind victories, or if I lose, I want to make sure that I'm either outplayed or I see why I lose. But that requires for me to play, not for me to play. You know, play should not be work. Okay, these hobbies that we do should not be work. I bought some new resin for merchandise and stuff going down for Decker Days, to see how it works, okay? Because I had to ask myself that very adult mathematic question. Should I pay more money for a product that might do what I want? But if it doesn't do what I want, then I've paid more money for some. Well, you know what? I'm paying for knowledge. So I'll get a small amount. I'll try it. And I ended up dropping a few miniatures and they didn't break. And I'm like, Soul American. And I ended up printing up a really quick playable team for one-page rules in a way that I didn't have before, but also a team that I could use to augment a different team that I have, because you can mix and match factions. And I printed them up, and I looked at my girlfriend, and I'm like, I can paint pretty well when I care. And I'll tell you what, I spent way more time than I should have on painting these little demon guys. Okay, way more time. They look really good. They look like I put some time and energy into it. The thing is, that's work for me. When I was done, I was tired because I paint miniatures. I do. I don't find the same joy in painting miniatures that a lot of people do, like the War Mistress or Cthulhu. You know, I'm not a modeler. I've never. You know, when I was a kid, I didn't work on model trains and I didn't have the model cars, you know, couldn't afford it, don't have a background in it. But I do like toys, and I do all the painting of the miniatures and stuff like that from the standpoint of these are toys I want to play with. But I wanted to show her that I could paint in the same manner that all of the instructional videos I watch do. I just don't care to. Okay. And she was like, wow, those actually do look really good. I'm like, yeah, really. Oh no, it is meditative until it isn't. Okay. And this is what I mean with that whole syndrome that yeah, it is meditative. However, yeah, I'm talking more crap on Games Workshop. Sorry, Zenithades, but I will never enjoy painting a Primaris model. I don't like that many ribbons and that and that many divots and rivets and all that stuff. I'm like, can I just put a wash on all that? Oh man, this guy is practically covered in purity seals. Okay, 1 seal, 2 seal, 3 seals. Wait, this model guy, like, I've seen some amazing jobs. I've seen entire Space Marines that were cross-hatched with a number 2 brush all the way around the figure. And I'm like, look at that. When I first got into playing War Machine, I saw people literally painting kilts plaid freehand. And I'm like, dude, that is impressive. That is art right there. I'm not that kind of an artist. That's not my medium. So yeah, I'm good with going, hey, this guy is wearing a kilt and it's a different color than everything else. Moving on. So yeah, that's the place that I come from. And I'm fine with that. I'm absolutely fine with that. So in short, when it comes to having main character syndrome, or when people say, remember, there are other people at the table, it's important to work as a team. All right. There are 4 words that I use in my everyday life, okay, my everyday life, that I find very important, okay, and I've said these words on this channel, and I've recommended that you guys can say these words. However, when you're at a table, there are 4 words that get plot going, that really cause a bond between players, especially if you're playing in like an adventure league or something with a bunch of strangers. Ready? Get a pencil. All right. 4 words. Pay me my money. No, I'm kidding. No, 4 words. How can I help? You know, that's it. How can I help? How can we help? You know, that is so big, when it comes to actually doing, stuff to build up, the idea that you're not the only person at the table. Okay. There's not a lot of media out there that really shows an ensemble cast. primarily because America's not ready for that. Now, if you have like BBC, you'll see ensemble casts everywhere. If you're a theater kid, you've studied work that has ensemble casts, okay? But movies and TV tend to focus on a character, one main character. Well, you have a good night, Friedwin. But yeah, maybe paint a miniature, relax a little. No. And most of these things, whenever you're doing something co-op, I know America comes from a very big place of dominance. The team doesn't matter as much as the quarterback. All right. The team doesn't matter as much as the captain. The crew is secondary. Everything is about the captain. I come from the land of filmmaking, and the fact is, it is a team effort. Matter of fact, every piece of filmmaking is a team effort. There's not just one editor. That editor has a crew, and that team is working with the effects team, and the effects team is part of the art department, and the art department is part of the construction crew. But you've got the practical effects team and the CGI effects team and the pre-visual team and the costuming and set design and the lighting team, and even producers have teams. They have their assistants. They have the people that are actually funding the movie, because a producer, they don't just pay out of pocket. They get other people to invest. So it's all these different team things, and everything that we see that a singular person gets credit for, from government to cashing a paycheck, is a team effort. Okay, there are teams of people behind that. I remember, I think it was back in 2009, the president of the United States said that, like, you didn't build that business by yourself, and people were outraged in the United States, and it's like, no, you didn't. You got bank loans. That took a team of assessors at a bank. You had customers, so practically everything is a group effort. Now, yes, everyone is the hero of their own story. You are the main character in your story. But that doesn't mean you are the singular character in your story. If you're watching this right now, I'm kind of a character in your story because I'm interacting with you. And does that mean I'm unimportant? I shouldn't exist? No. I may not be as important as you are, but I still have importance. Okay? And main character syndrome tends to be the thing that removes the importance of everything else. So when it comes to I versus we, I think we are playing a game. We are in an adventuring party. Even with competitive games, we are playing with miniatures. We are playing Monopoly, and we are here to have fun. Okay? And that's something that I would really like people to think on and to practice. And if you need practice on that kind of thing, then come on down to Decker Day. Oh man, yeah, I did a segue. Yeah, that was the whole thing. Yeah, if you need practice on that kind of thing, because I will be talking with people and helping people have fun with a lot of the stuff that they're doing, under the understanding, there's your credit, Kevin McLeod, with the understanding that we're all there to have fun. We all do these things to have fun and to show how much fun we can have with each other, doing the stuff that we either already love or sharing the stuff that we love with the people that we love. Okay? So thank you guys for tuning in today. I know today was a little ranty. Now tomorrow is Thursday, which means we're going to have another episode of Dark Side of the Room, unless these prints don't fail, in which case it might be a hobby haul day. I gotta double check on that because I still have a lot of stuff to make and build to make sure that are good for Decker Day next week. Yes, this is taking a lot of time and energy. Reason, I've invested a lot of money into this event and I'm trying to make sure that I break even. So yeah, like seriously, if you guys haven't gotten your tickets, please get your tickets as soon as possible, just to make sure that I can pay for the venue, essentially, and not have to take that money out of next month's mortgage payment, kind of thing. But with that, I gotta say thank you guys for showing up. Many thanks to Freed One, Clever Little Vixen holding it down like gravity, Black and White Now in Color, Glenn Couch, Elizabeth, Is Nickable, Nintendo Switch SL, Sofa King Super, Vancouver by Night, Vixabel Cosplay, Xenothades. Thank all of you guys for being here. And if y'all haven't subscribed to this channel yet, please do. So yeah, subscribe, like, share, let the people know that we're here. Let's grow the community. I promise you can trust me to cultivate a non-toxic community, but I need the people first. So bring the people in and let me meet them. Let me do all that stuff so that we can, well, honestly, so that we can be the dreamers of the dream. And we can share our passions and our love for all this stuff with as many people as possible. All right. So with that, I'm Solar Gray, Cinematic Sorcerer, and no one has the right to tell you what you can like based on how you were born, okay? And if they try, you can tell them to take whatever card they pull on you, be it race, religion, creed, gender identity, whatever. You can tell them to take any of those cards and put them back in the deck, or to close the gate from the other side of it, all right? But with that, thank you guys for showing up, and I will see you guys tomorrow on the dark side of the room.